Hey, what's up everybody? I hope your day is going good. Today is Saturday, so I hope you're enjoying yourself. Today's video is going to be a little bit of Flutter, but more specifically, how we can add security protocols to our mobile applications. There's a company called Pangea that's responsible for creating these security services. So I'm going to show you how you can use these services in conjunction with Firebase Extensions in order to provide an extra level of security for your mobile applications. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So as I mentioned earlier, the company that's responsible for creating these services is called Pangea. Pangea offers a bunch of different services, including authorization, authentication, audit logging, secrets management, entitlement, licensing, and much more. Pangea is also HIPAA compliant, PCI compliant, and SOC2 compliant. So that's a big plus when incorporating these APIs into your app. The services are offered on two different cloud options, AWS and GCP. So we'll be using AWS for today's demonstration, but just know that you have options when it comes to picking a provider. It's also free to sign up, so you don't have to worry about paying anything out the gate. For today's video, I'm going to be specifically focused on showing two of those services being used with two of the Firebase extensions. So the Firebase extension that we'll be using is called Known Malware Detection, and it's going to use the File Intel Pangea service. What this extension will do is it will allow us to upload files to Firebase storage. It's going to check that file for any malicious activity, and if there is, or malicious content I should say, and if there is some present, it's going to send it to a zip file for us and then optionally delete that file or not. Very good to have this because you can upload files from anywhere, and you want to make sure that you're uploading files that do not have anything that could harm anything that you're working with on the back end. The next extension is called Critical Document Auditing, and it uses the audit logging service from Pangea. What this does is that it allows us to log security level events throughout the app, and then those logs are put on a ledger of the blockchain and provided a specific hash. That way, when you go back to look at some of the logs, if there's any inconsistencies with the hashes, then you know that there's some suspicious activity when it comes to what was logged. The good thing is we don't ever have to see the logs either. We can just now look at the hash when we need to access those logs. So it's very good when it comes to making sure everything is always secure. With that being said, let's go ahead and actually configure this application. To configure the application, we're going to need to create two different accounts. Well, not accounts, but we'll need to create a Firebase project, one, and then we also need to create an account with Pangea. So I'm going to demonstrate the Firebase project first. So I'm going to go to Add Project. We're going to enter a name for the project. We'll call this Pangea Extensions Demo. Hit Continue. We're not going to enable Google Analytics for this project. Hit Create Project. Give this a second. It'll probably be like 15 seconds. Project is now ready, so we'll hit Continue. Now once we're in here, we then need to enable some of the services that Firebase provides. So first, we're going to want to enable Firestore Database. So we'll go to the left panel, hit Firestore Database, hit Create Database, and then we're going to leave it in production mode for this example. Click Next, then specify the Cloud Firestore location. We'll leave it as is and hit Enable. Give me an error. I see that sometimes. I believe it was still created. No, it wasn't created. Let me see. Production mode, 25. Let's change it to US East 1. Still not working. Let me see if I refresh it. Okay, that worked. So yeah, I'm not sure. There's some configuration issues when it comes to creating Firestore databases sometimes, but it's in here now. So then what we want to do is we want to go to the storage and enable that service as well. So we'll hit Get Started. Leave this in production mode as well. We'll leave the Cloud Firestore location as is. Let that create the bucket. All right, storage didn't give us any issues with the location, but that's good. Either way, we have storage in here, so that's set up. And then what we want to do is we want to enable functions. So in order to use functions, you have to upgrade your project from the Spark plan to the Blaze plan. Unfortunately, I've reached my quota for the Blaze plan, for my quota as far as how many projects can have the Blaze plan. So I can't continue with this project. So I'm going to switch over to another project that already has the Blaze plan enabled, and as well as all these services. So I'm just going to switch over to this project called Demos. So just know that we are set up when it comes to the Firebase project. That's all you would have to do. So with that out the way, with Firebase set up, we now want to create our account with Pangea. So we're coming over to Pangea's website. I already have an account, but you would just sign up this way. So I'm just going to sign in with Google. And I am not a robot actually. So hit that, select my account. Oh, I ain't signed up with Google. I'm gonna be sign in with Google. Select my account. And then I will be taken to the dashboard for Pangea. So within here, this is the dashboard. We need to enable two services that are going to be used for this application. So we need to enable secure audit logging. So in the left pane, we'll select secure audit logging. And then we want to create a token that we're going to use to configure the extension in the next video. So I'm just going to call this one secure audit log token and leave everything else as is. We have secure audit log selecting, so we'll hit done. And now we have our token for secure audit log. So we'll go back to main menu, select file intel this time, create new token, and we'll name this one file intel token. As you can see, file intel service is selected, and then we'll hit done. And this is going to create the token to use the file intel service. Now, theoretically, you could have a token that uses multiple services, but it's not best practice. It's better to only scope tokens to the specific service that they'll be using. So I have two separate tokens for two separate services. And if we come back to the main dashboard and then select project settings and go to tokens, we can actually just see both of our tokens right here. Secure audit log token uses the audit service. File intel token uses the file intel service. Everything is set up for the configuration part. In the next video, I'm going to actually demonstrate how we can use the known malware detection Firebase extension.